Hi everybody, I'm Abby.
And I'm Adam.
And together we are Travel with A Team. We just spent a few nights and a couple days in Escalante, which is really the Grand Staircase National Monument.
Originally, we were actually planning to go to Zion. However, in our research leading up to that point of our trip, we quickly realized that we might run into some difficulties. Because of COVID-19, Zion is actually heavily restricting capacity on their shuttle systems. Well, we realized that we actually missed the deadline for early advance shuttle tickets, so that meant that your only option was to acquire tickets into the park the night before at 5 p.m. In our reading, we realized that this was a little bit of a gamble, so it could have easily turned out that had we stayed in the RV campground and not gotten the tickets, well, we wouldn't have had anything to do for approximately 3 days. So rather than take that chance, we decided that the best course of action was to again switch and instead go to the Grand Staircase National Monument. If you haven't heard of it, the Grand Staircase National Monument is over 2 million acres located in southern Utah that is operated by the Bureau of Land Management. Now, this place is super cool, and they have a different set of rules than you'll find in most other campgrounds. The cool thing about the Grand Staircase National Monument, or really any of the land that's operated and controlled by the Bureau of Land Management, you can camp almost anywhere. They offer free permits that you can pick up in one of their many offices. We boondocked for the first time in our RV. Now, when we rented the RV, we had no idea what we were getting into, so this was a little bit of a leap for us. And boondocking, if you haven't heard the term before, simply means that you don't have any hookups, whether that comes to electric, sewer, water, are the main three. You're simply staying overnight without those hookups. So this was going to be our first experience doing this, which was a little nerve-wracking at first, but once we got the hang of it, it's actually quite simple. The only rule is that you should try and camp in a place where somebody has already camped before, as to not create new and too many campgrounds. Now, another thing that you need to know about the Grand Staircase National Monument is that the roadways are not paved. Now, there are some areas of the massive 2 million acres that do have some paved roads, but quite frankly, the majority of it is dirt/gravel mix that are often referred to as washboard roads. If you think about an old school washboard, that's what the surface of the road looks like. And it turns out they are harrowing. Literally, washboard roads, I have never had so much stress and anxiety in my life. We learned the hard way that you really don't want to go very far on a washboard road in an RV. There were plenty of people that were doing just fine in trucks and SUVs and the like. And quite honestly, the experience would still suck for them, I'm certain. But in an RV, it was absolutely miserable.
So, unfortunately, some of the best hikes are off that awful road. We went to check out what was technically the most popular hike, but honestly, like, when you think about the most popular hikes, like, when you compare to the Grand Canyon, it really wasn't that crowded. So the first day, after kind of holding an audible, we ended up going to Devil's Garden in the morning.
There's not really an official trail at Devil's Garden. It's marked as roughly 0.2 miles. So really it's just kind of an area where you can wander around, and there's a bunch of awesome rock formations, arches, and really scenic viewpoints that you can simply explore and have fun.
So after we finished our coffee at Devil's Garden, we headed down the awful road to go to one of the more popular hikes. We did the Dry Fork Narrow Slot Canyon, the Peekaboo Slot Canyon, and the Spooky Slot Canyon / Gulch. We had a blast. We have just started in on the Dry Fork Narrows. Oop. Y'all, this is super cool.
Canyon snack.
So we were really planning on going on this hike called the Golden Cathedral, and we were gonna go camp boondock really close to the trailhead and then finish up our drive after the hike. Pretty intense hike, actually. It's quite a long hike, but we turned to go down that road and y'all, our anxiety was through the roof, and we were like, do we really want to do an additional 10 miles one way down this road to get to the trailhead? And then after a really intense hike, have to turn around, and then we have like 40 miles left on that whole road just to get to pavement. So we said, you know what? It might be beautiful, but there's no hike that's worth this stress. So we decided to pull another audible, and we went to the Lower Calf Creek Falls. So we
found an easy place to boondock on our way out of the road, which is, by the way, we keep talking about this road. It's the Hole in the Rock Road. Look it up if you're so inclined. It will give you nightmares.
So we got as far as our anxiety could take us, found a spot to boondock. We had 5 miles left on the road the next morning. So we finished up those miles and we went to the Lower Calf Creek Falls. And y'all, the trail, it is super cool. It is really popular, but it was really cool, and it ended in a waterfall. And we didn't think we'd see another waterfall after Hawaii, but lo and behold, there was a waterfall, and it was really fun.
We were headed on a heavily trafficked but still really cool trail known as Lower Calf Creek Falls. So round trip, it's about a 6.7 mile journey, and we were able to park our 25-foot RV at the top in the overflow parking. It says that in this area, this recreation use area, there isn't a turnaround for RVs larger than 25 feet. So we just made the cut, but fortunately we found a place to park.
Too far. Okay. There we go.
Hey! We found the falls.
We found the falls.
Lower Calf Creek Falls.
Lower Calf Creek Falls. It was about a 3-mile hike to get here. Not hard. Very sandy. Really beautiful.
The parking lot was full and we left it roughly 9.
Took us about 2 hours to get here, but we like to take our time and stop and look at
all the pretty scenery.
It's kind of cold. The sun went away. The clouds covered the sun, so it's a little chilly. We're not gonna swim in this one. I know we always say you have to swim in the waterfall. Okay, but y'all,
really cold.
It's really cold. Like,
get like frostbite and hypothermia. It'd be bad.
It wouldn't be cute. So
gonna be smart about this one.
This is a really great lunch spot or snack spot. Honestly, it's not super crowded, which is awesome. Yeah, I highly recommend hanging out here for a little bit, enjoying the beautiful waterfall. It's a really great destination at the end of a hike. It's an out and back, so when we wrap up here, after staring in awe at the waterfall for a while, we're just gonna walk back the same way we came and head back to the RV for the day.
Yeah.
Though our Escalante experience was initially completely unplanned, and even the minor planning we did do, it just didn't happen, we had so much fun. And despite all of the anxiety of that freaking road, The hole in the rock road, that will live on in my nightmares for the rest of my life. But despite all of that, Escalante, the Grand Staircase National Monument, was amazing. We absolutely loved it and highly recommend going there. Just don't bring your entire RV down there. Park it at the top.
Mm-hmm. You need a towed.
You need a towed.
Or specifically
or a trailer.
Preferably a four-wheel drive vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Still do it. Just be prepared for what you're getting into. Or don't go down that road. There are still other hikes. They're just, honestly, like if you want to do the slot canyons,
the cool ones are down the road.
You have to go down the road.
Yeah, of course.
Of course you have to go down the road.
As a whole experience, though, this was awesome for us. We had a tremendous learning experience for us newbies when it comes to RVs. We conquered our fear of boondocking for the first time, and were very successful in that component of it. So all in all, again, it was a fantastic experience. We had loads of fun, and I'm sure we'll be back someday because I really want to do that Golden Cathedral hike. But next time we're just going to do it a little differently.
Yeah. For our next experience, we are going to Bryce Canyon just for a couple of days. So another canyon, but a totally different experience. So be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can check out our next adventure in our RV. Thanks for watching.